Hello everybody, God bless you. I am prophetess Shanique Beckford, and today if you are trying to figure out, you're wondering, you're seeking on confirmation, you're trying to find out if you are truly called to be a prophet, then you need to stay tuned for more on this video. Hello everybody, welcome back. I am Shanique Beckford, as I said before, and based on today's video we're going to be talking about a few sure signs that you are definitely called to be a prophet of the Lord. Before I go any further, please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, spam the comment section, and also go ahead and share this video with a friend. You have no idea who you may be blessing in this particular time. So as I said, based on the title, you guys can see what I will be sharing with you guys, a few sure signs that you can use to say that you are definitely called to be a prophet of God. Now the first sign I want to share with you is the Lord calls you. You are called by God. For every prophet that you meet, they will actually tell you that they have actually heard the voice of God, or they have seen God, and this is usually one of the main signs that says that God has definitely called you to be a prophet. It's not that someone else has called you, it's not that someone else has told you that God is calling you to be a prophet. It's not that you went through years of struggle or humiliation or anything like that. And even though I'm going to share that with you, the main sign is the fact that you have encountered God and He has shared with you personally that He is calling you. So now that you have had a dream, you had a divine encounter, you heard the voice of the Lord, you saw Him and He gave you that word, it now doesn't matter what else happens, whether you go through struggles or not, whether you go through loss or not, because do remember that struggling, humiliation, disappointment is not necessarily the main signs that you are called to be a prophet. So when you have encountered God and He tells you, then this is something that you need to pay attention to. Alright, so another major sign that you're called to be a prophet of God is when the Lord has given you that particular call to say, hey, I'm calling you to be a prophet. It is not something that you had desired before. So you did not desire to be a prophet. You were not asking for it, you were not praying for it, you were not begging for it, you didn't even think about it. Perhaps you have seen it happening on your social media, in your church, but you just never really thought, I'd like to be a prophet. It seems interesting. I want to serve. No, it's just something that the Lord gave to you. So you weren't searching for it before. And in most cases, the people who are genuinely called to be prophets, they weren't chasing for it. They weren't begging for it. And when the Lord actually called them, it's almost like they do not want to actually be a prophet. If you get what I mean. If you're a prophet, then you certainly understand. Prophets oftentimes do not necessarily want to be prophets because they know what it actually entails. They know what the whole title or the whole office of a prophet, well, not title has nothing to do with your call, it's just a name, but they know what the office and the function actually embodies. Which brings me to my next sign that you're called to be a prophet. The next sign is years or seasons or prolonged time of struggle. I know you all are probably saying I can't relate. I've done a similar video to this before. If you haven't seen my other prophetic videos, teaching videos on the prophetic, you need to go back and catch those videos. But for most prophets, this is something that they can definitely relate on. Years or prolonged periods of struggle, whether they have been struggling since a child, whether since their adolescent or young years, their younger years, it has been a struggle from finances to finding somewhere to live. just everything in general. It's almost like things have just become a strain and a struggle. They go through humiliation, embarrassment, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. How do you serve a God that loves you so much, that you love so much, but he allows these things to happen? It's not about you, it's about what God is placing on the inside of you. There's some things you will never understand, but when you trust God that this is something that God is doing, it's a process that he's taking you through, then you can better commit to God. Some things you don't understand, and some things is not about you, but it's what God really wants to do through you. So the sooner you yield and just commit to God and say, God, just let your will be done, then it's the sooner you'll actually get through this. So if you are struggling, this is definitely a sign that you are on the right path, that God is about to do something for you, or he's about to use you in the office of the prophetic. All right. So another sign that you're called to be a prophet is you are a natural worshiper and a natural intercessor. Prophets are usually people that love worship. Worship is easy for them. They can go into worship, and in a matter of a jiffy, a split second, they are taken up by the heavens in all the glory of God. So true and genuine prophets do not struggle to worship, as whether they have music or not, whether it's an atmosphere like this that is quiet, peaceful, even in the noise, prophets are able to worship God. And when I say worship, I mean to worship him in the beauty of holiness, in spirit and in truth. We don't need music, we don't need to set an atmosphere, but when we begin to focus on God, the worship just begins to come up out of our bellies. The Bible says, out of your bellies will flow rivers of living water. So when prophets begin to minister, prophets begin to worship, it comes up naturally outside of them. Whether you're a prophet or not, you are definitely called to be a worshiper. It is something that was built in you. So worshiping should be easy for all of us, but if you're called to be a true prophet of God, worship will definitely become easy for you. So I'm going to give you two more signs that you're definitely called to be a prophet. The next one I want to share with you is willingness to give up everything or anything for God. There are people that say, I love God so much, and while anybody can be willing to do this, because when you're truly sold out to God, you're truly fully committed, you're genuine about your yes to God, then you'll be willing to do this. But when we talk about genuine, authentic prophets, they are willing to give up anything for God. They're willing to just lose anything, whether they're gonna lose their job just to see God, they're gonna fall out of school, it doesn't matter what it is. But when God asks them to give up something, they're ready, they're willing. If God says walk away from something, they're ready, they're willing. Whatever God says, prophets are committed to their yes. And so this is something that you'll probably come to understand, that it's not that you have, I don't want to say perhaps you have more faith than others do, but you trust God in whatever he is doing. And so if he says relocate, you're going to relocate. If he says jump, you're going to say how high. If he says run, you're going to say how fast. If he says fast, you're going to say how long, because your yes, your yielding, your commitment, your surrender, your giving into God is something that is very, very, very important to you. And the last one I want to share with you guys today is you have singleness of purpose. By singleness of purpose, as a genuine prophet, I mean it is either or either. It's either you're living for God, you're not living for God. It's either you're passionate for God or you're not. It's either you are walking the straight and narrow path leading to heaven, or you're just going straight to hell on that broad way. So we as prophets in general, we're not going to sugarcoat things. So whether you like us or not, whether you hate us or not, whether you will continue to support us or not, whether you will try to scandal our name or taint our character, whatever it is you're going to do, we are going to stand on what we have said based on the word of God. We are going to call sin, we're going to call unholiness, and that's just how it is. There's no color between nothing. There's no, it's either black or white, no gray in the middle. It's either or either. So if you have found yourself to be anything that I have explained before, then you can identify that you are definitely called to be a prophet of God. There are a few more signs I have shared before, so if you haven't seen that video, I want you to go ahead and scroll all the way down until you find those videos, signs you're called to be a prophet. But if you can relate to anything that I shared in this video, I want you to go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Like the video if you found it interesting, subscribe and share with a friend, and thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.